emulate the taste of like non-chicken nuggets. So these nuggets are made from chicken, but they're made to emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope.
Oh, that's much better.
Edit all the blather out of your videos because my time is very precious.
Oh, that's fire.
Make it less teal and more
cerulean, sure.
Replace your background with something more fun? The cold void of outer space.
Let's boost that sound quality. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope.
It needs more style. It needs more clips, more gifs, more. Well, I might have made it too gnarly.
Hello, everybody. Whoa, Gabe, you're bigger than me. Now we're equal. Equality. Welcome, everybody, to the Descript Season 6 demo. I'm Christiana. I'm on the community team here at Descript. Our host, our guide today is Gabe, our wonderful product release coordinator. And we are here to cover everything that we released on Tuesday during Descript Season 6, which was our biggest update of all time, the people are saying, ever, which is super exciting. We released Underlord, the new AI editing assistant. We did a big app design update and updated the interface in a really awesome way. And we launched some new features. So Gabe is going to show us around all that stuff today. But we've got a nice small crew. So I feel like this will feel like our office hours that we do, Gabe. And I'll just throw questions at you as we go.
Yep, I just brought all my best friends to come hang out and watch us talk about this. So
perfect. I mean, 64 people are live right now, so you have a lot of best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Are they stack ranked, or they're all equally 64 best friends?
They're all number one. It's like multi-man.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, welcome everybody, and I have a poll going. Have you checked out Underlord yet? It is in the YouTube chat. 56% have, 44% have not. So either way, you're going to learn something today. But this will be sort of a high level overview of everything we released. We will do deep dives on different things as we go. We'll do an Underlord deep dive next week. That link is coming soon. But yeah, just get ready for a guided tour. I'm going to share my screen really fast and give you an idea of what we'll cover today. All right, so we will cover what's changed and where things have moved. The app looks a little bit different now, so we will cover where you can find everything that you're used to. There's a new sidebar. We'll give you an overview of that. We will cover Underlord, the new AI editing assistant that we just mentioned. There's also new features like center active speaker, automatic multicam, translating captions, and more, and we will cover those as well. There's a new and improved timeline. We will jump down there and show you around, and then we will also cover Descript for Web, which is now officially out of beta, which is super exciting. These are just some best practices to make sure you have an amazing viewing experience today. So we're streaming to YouTube. Use the chat for chatting and asking questions. The amazing Marcelo from our support team is in there and we'll be answering your cues. I just saw Ariel, my counterpart on the community team, is in there as well. Say hey to her. But yeah, we've got a crew that's ready to help you out. But if you have specific questions or you want to dive into something deeper, reach out to our support team or visit the help center, help.descript.com. All of the new stuff that we released already has help articles. Our team moved really fast to get those up. So check out those resources. They should be super helpful. This session is recorded. All of our events are recorded and live for eternity on our YouTube page. But I will also send a link in the follow-up email. So if you have to jump off at any time, don't worry. You'll have the replay. And then please join us on Discord. We have close to 20,000 members of our Discord community, which is pretty dang exciting. It's a great place to ask questions and get peer support. Tune in for live office hours with Marcelo and the rest of the gang, and just share what you've been working on, get some inspiration. And yeah, we would love for you to join us in there. And then last but not least, if you're new to Descript or you're currently on the free plan, we want you to have full access to everything we show off today. So you can get a free month of Descript Pro on us. Use code S6, as in season 6 demo, and you'll get a free month. You can also scan that QR code. But again, I will put this in the follow-up email, so you don't need to scramble to write this down. You can just check your email later, and you will have a gift from me. But that is that. Again, it's a lot to cover. A lot. We released a lot. It was a pretty packed change log that Gabe put together and put out. So if you're like, oh, I want more on this specific thing, keep an eye on our events page, on our social. We will be doing a lot of events where we'll dive deep on all of this stuff. Gabe, anything I missed in that sort of pre-demo info? Anything you want to add?
No, if you'd like a very compressed version of the walkthrough, I posted one to the changelog. This will be like a breezier version of that same video. We'll have more room to kind of chat about things. So yeah, a lot to cover, but I don't think it'll be too overwhelming. It's mostly pretty digestible stuff.
Cool. I love it. All right. Well, I guess without further ado, take it away, Gabe.
Okay. Well, if you pop my screen share up, cool. So this is what a blank project looks like now. Just briefly, I'm going to demonstrate using our settings panel here, how this can be turned on and off. And you can just see what Descript used to look like for like half a second while I load this project. This is what you've been used to up until version 91. And if you go into settings and you don't see this, you'll have this new Underlord, new editor layout in Underlord. That's how you make sure it's turned on for you. But if you see this layout that we're looking at now, you're in the right place. So I'm just going to kind of go through the top bar and go over what's changed here. So we added a home button up at the top. This just takes you back to Drive View. This is the Descript logo menu, now a hamburger style menu. Not my favorite term, but it is descriptive.
Wait, why is it called that?
Bun burger. You see my mouse or
Understood.
not? Yeah.
Okay. My brain goes to hot dog style paper versus hamburger style paper.
Yeah. Similar.
You know what I mean?
Similar, coming from a similar place.
Okay, great.
The other thing that people call it is a 3-line menu. Maybe I should just default to that, but I get to say hamburger on a live stream, so there you go.
Fun.
This is all the same, by the way. Nothing here has really changed all that much. There's a quick actions bar. You can type in stuff or ask Underlord if you're not currently on the sidebar. Moving along, there's a sync manager here. I'm on the web version, which actually doesn't have a pop-out sync manager anymore because we've got some new sort of traying features that tell you what status files are in on the web version. But if you're in the app, you can click this and see what's going on with your files at any given moment, whether they're transcribing or processing, uploading, that sort of thing. Cool. The project management box here, just move to the center. It's still up here. This is your project dropdown. You can rename, move, duplicate, delete the project, look at the version history, go to the project settings. You can also look at your compositions list, add new compositions, edit them. We've got a whole menu of composition actions over here. And then if you are used to the toolbar at the top, that's where we start to talk about where things have moved to. So there aren't any tools, there weren't tools on Underlord that were up here, but the rest of the tools are on this sidebar. The goal of this update generally was to just make the finding the action that you want easier to do. So if we talk about, like, there was the media library here, that's now the project section. This has all of your project compositions and all of your project files. Other than where it is, it works basically exactly the same, and it has the added utility of also managing compositions. Basically, all of the actions we have up here are also duplicated here, just for whatever is more convenient for you. Adding folders, adding compositions. These two upload buttons are identical. They do the same thing, so just pick whichever one you like better. You can also import links from YouTube or Giphy, and that's a new feature. It's also in a blank project here. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we keep moving. While we're on the subject, though, the new project state is just a little bit easier to understand. So nothing here actually works all that differently. It's just easier to find what you're looking for. So if you click upload a file, it'll take you to your file browser. You can still drag and drop as you always could. If you have YouTube links, you can download YouTube videos directly into your project. Fair use, fair use. Make sure you are doing anything that you borrow content-wise are using appropriately and legally. But you can import media directly from YouTube, which I think is fantastic.
Can I throw a question at
yeah,
you?
Of course you can.
Cool. From the YouTube. Is it specifically YouTube, or do other video hosting sites like Vimeo or Wistia work as well?
It's specifically YouTube and Giphy at the moment. There are some plans to expand this feature a bit, but I can't say specifically what those plans will be.
Cool. All right.
Cool. Let me just get this deleted out of my project. Cool. And then just to complete the loop here on what the blank project state looks like, you can start writing, which will just take you into our write mode. So you can either overdub or just start composing your composition. And then, of course, it didn't reset. So let me just delete and re-add a composition. There we go. Record button just takes you to the record panel over here. Browse templates if you want to start with a template. Let's see, there we go. That's a nice view of our expanded templates library, which we'll talk more about as we go. Cool. Should I stop anywhere here or keep moving down the sidebar?
I think so far we're pretty good.
Cool.
Nope. Yeah.
All right. So that is the project panel, a new project state. I'm going to switch to a composition that has more content in it so that the next couple panels make sense.
Oh, wait, Gabe, sorry
yeah.
to interrupt. Can I actually hit you? I just saw this good question.
Cool. I love good questions.
Cool. God-sized stories asked, will starting a project by sending them from Squadcast still be the same?
Yeah. Yeah, there shouldn't be any differences there. It will still bring a sequence file, or depending on how many tracks you have, a single video, if that's all you have, into your project. It'll still be synced the same way, and all the tools that you're used to should all essentially work identically to how they did in the past.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Cool. So the next one, I want to spend a small amount of time just explaining why we're doing this. We have separated our properties panels into two locations. So it used to be you would manage scene properties and layer properties all from one menu. And we decided it might be a little bit clearer what the intentions are with these properties if we separated them out so that you're always only editing one or the other. And with that in mind, the first of the two panels is the scene properties panel. Mm-hmm. And so what I would do from here is if I want to apply a template to a specific scene or all of my scenes, I can choose that template, or I can save my layout to a template, copy the layout, paste in a layout, or reset a layout. Just to clarify terms briefly, when we're talking about templates and layouts, we think of a template as a container for layout. So a template could have several different layouts within it, and then you apply that template so that your whole scene has all of the elements that you're looking for. Cool. And skipping along that, we don't need to apply any templates here at the moment. We can affect the duration of scenes. We can change the background color. So if I had this cinched in a little bit and I want the background to be white, that's where I'd do that. And if I want that to be in the current scene or all scenes, I would do it that from here as well. Because we're so zoomed in, we're missing a little bit of context. So just so you can see what I'm talking about, there's a current scene and all scenes toggle. This is a new thing for season 6 and the latest update. So if I want to cinch in his video, change the background, and I have that apply to all scenes, I would just make sure that that is checked off. Cool. I can also add effects to my scene. So if I want just like a blur over every element or something like that, that's where I do it, or a film grain, pixelation, that sort of thing. This is also where I do transitions for scenes. So fading, blurring, and this would be at this line here when we go from scene 2 to scene 3. Let's say if I put an out transition and I want it to fade or crossfade between the scenes, I would do that here. And you can see him starting to crossfade in. Cool. And then this extends into the next properties panel, which is the layers menu here. So if I click any one of these layers, I'm going to go ahead and click the script layer with our beautiful colleague Andrew in it. This is where all of the single layer properties that you're used to live now. It has the same toggle here, which is current scene and all scenes. So if a layer such as the script track extends across multiple scenes, I can say, hey, please make sure that this is this opaque in all scenes. I'm going to stick with current scene for now while we're demoing this. Controls you're used to are here: duration, clip speed, audio effects, layout, multicam settings, green screen, animation, all that good stuff. Any questions on the new properties panels?
I do not think so.
Cool.
Would love to know how to better do. Okay. Yep. I think there's some questions that are not quite related to properties, but we'll get back to those.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there are definitely plans also to make all of this even better than it currently is. So don't consider this to be like the final state. One other thing while we're here is some of these properties are now accessible through the toolbar here when you click any item in the canvas. So if I want to add animations and such, that'll pop up here, unless I'm on the web version and hit a bug, which is fine. Cool. All right. Moving along. The record panel is essentially exactly the same as it always was. I need to allow it. Very little difference here. I am on the web version, by the way. So just so you know, the layout is slightly different between the web and desktop version of the recorder, but mostly everything else works the same. I can, at one change we should note that changed just before the launch, but it could have gotten lost in the shuffle, is that this is all context sensitive now. So if I want to record into the script, I should put my cursor somewhere in the script. If I want to replace a selection, you can see here the button is changed to replace selection. And then the third option is to select a scene, which will give you the option to record as a layer. So if I'm like want to do a voiceover or like an overlay video for something I've already recorded, this is how I would do that, by selecting a scene. Cool. Awesome. Cool. Moving along. Again, these are almost all items that were on the top bar, except for these two properties panels. Elements is a combined selection of text elements, shape elements, timers, markers, dynamic text, placeholders, waveforms, circle animations, progress bars, annotations, overlays, and then for frames. Any cues there? I think this one might be pretty straightforward. You just add these if you like them.
Nope. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear.
Cool. All right. Captions, we do get into some fun new content here. We just have new styles, and we also have new sort of animated previews of what these are going to look like. So let me just put this typewriter in my project here. Cool. And this should be applied to all scenes. Let's see. There we go. Cool. So my beautiful new typewriter style, if I wanted to throw in some, typewriter sound effects, I think we'd be well on our way to creating a noir themed video here.
I do love the sound effects.
Clackety clack clack. Type type type. Okay.
Is the creator of
I hit play. That's
From your clacking.
yeah. I slammed the space bar. Cool. Let's keep moving along. Again, I highly recommend checking out these new caption styles. They're really pretty. You can also do the same thing you can do with the other sections we've looked at, applying your captions to one scene or all scenes. Cool.
Love it.
From the top bar, again, our stock media libraries have been separated out into two. Because I'm so zoomed in right now, you can't see the third and last option here, which is music. But all visual stock media is in the media folder. So this would be stock video, Giphy GIFs, stock images, Giphy stickers, backgrounds, and unsplash images. And then there is the music panel, which is our stock music library and our stock sound effects library. And that, I believe, covers everything on the sidebar.
Love it. Perfect little tour. Thank
Well
you so
done.
much. Question here from Christy.
Mhm.
Any plans to add presets to the captions that we can save?
I think that's a pretty probable one. I don't have any specific plans to share at the moment, but I have heard some similar requests along those lines, and it seems like pretty clear, useful feedback. So nothing to share yet, but stay tuned.
Absolutely. Cool. I have also heard that. So that is cool.
Cool. I'm glad I was not lying.
No, you're not lying. I actually think somebody maybe even asked Andrew about it on screen. On
Yeah.
season 6, and he said to look out for that. So this one is from I'm Jojo. Are there new options for a border radius curved corners on captions?
Good question. I don't believe that is the case. Let's see, because we have, I'm in special elite font. Let's go to my layer properties. Text style settings, color. Yeah, I don't even see a background option for this specific layer. What else do I got? Yeah, I don't believe we have added anything along those lines, but that is a good feature suggestion and something I would be happy to float to our product team.
Cool. Daniel asked, what does the stock pull from? Descript library, or does it pull from the internet? And Marcelo followed up and said, we have a contract with a company called Storyblocks, which is true.
Yes, that's 100% correct. Thank you, Marcella, for bailing me out there. I was forgetting and blanking on the name.
Awesome.
Storyblocks.
Cool. Okay. And let me just scroll up here. Carl Kim asked, did you cover the new animated ins and outs? Are we going to hit on that later?
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get further down. If we run out of time for that, I'm going to be addressing it also in an upcoming changelog piece of content.
Awesome. Cool. Okie dokie. I think this is a feature request I'll bring up from Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Also would love to be able to change the shape of the background color applied to text/captions. Specifically, I'd like to round the corners of the background, but right now we only have sharp angles. It's a great feature request.
Yes.
Totally makes sense. I'm going to screenshot that so that we can share it with our team.
I literally, when I was making changelog content, ran into the same issue and was like, man, I wish I could round these corners. So.
Let's do a real time. I'm sending that in the feedback channel right now.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that level of service you get with us.
This is, coming to our smaller events. It's kind of a hack.
Yeah.
All of our 92 best friends, you just throw it our way that are watching right now. Okay, cool. Okay, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
How about, or what's next? What do you want to hit next?
I think we're going to move into Underlord and everything that you can do there.
Let's do it.
Let's dig
go.
in. Yeah, so this is, if you were using Descript a couple weeks ago, you were probably using AI actions. This is just a bundling of all of those actions with a new name and some new features, and even more features to come. We have lots of exciting, cool stuff planned, and one of the things that we're going to be focusing on is very highly requested Underlord AI features. So this is all of your AI tools. We've separated this section into 5 panels, and they are one, sound good, and this is all features to just improve the quality of your audio, plus the quality of your script. And it includes things like removing filler words, shortening word gaps, removing retakes, and then, of course, our bread and butter studio sound for noise reduction. One of my favorite features here is just add chapters.
So good.
I am a lazy bum, and I don't want to go through this and identify everything. So I'm going to go ahead and let Underlord take care of that for me. We're not going to demo every single feature or anything like that, but some of these ones that apply pretty quickly, I'll just demo them because I like them.
Totally. And we will do a dedicated Underlord event next week. So
Yes.
look out for that if you want to spend time on all these things.
Added those twice by mistake. There we go. Okay, let's back out. Cool. The look good section, this is for anything that will be like a visual change to your project. So it includes eye contact, which pulls the speaker's eyes to the camera. Probably this is the first time I'm making eye contact with my camera today. So if we had a recording of this and it was like, no, Gabe seems really avoidant, you could throw this on and fix that up. We'll talk a little bit more about the stuff that's actually new, like center active speaker, green screen, classic feature, just automatic background placement, no actual green screen required. This one we can demo very quickly as well, which is automatic multicam. Has been around for a hot minute, but again, a very useful feature for getting your multicam settings roughed in when you have multiple speakers in a project in a sequence. So I'm just going to click that and apply it, and we can come back to it in just a second. Also, I may need to refresh because I'm getting some slow performance. Hold on. Refreshing. Okay, there we go. We're live. We did it.
Did it.
Cool. Cool. Going down the line still. The repurpose section, this is like, in terms of the stuff within a section, this repurpose section is both the newest and kind of coolest of the new features. This has, sorry, I'm losing it. There we go. Create clips, which is a new workflow based on our previous AI actions around clips. What these do now, and it's refreshing anyway, even though I said cancel. Hold on.
Oh, Jinx.
Yep.
Oh my God.
We both went Jeopardy, didn't we?
That's beautiful. Our minds.
Yeah. You might even call it double Jeopardy. Okay. Moving on. We're not worried about any of that. Create clips is a really cool workflow. So if you click through here, it picks your most viral worthy moments. Viral worthy. Okay, that's an interesting phrasing. It picks your most viral worthy moments and create clips that pop. So I can pick a number of clips, a general duration for those clips. I can even apply templates, and I love all of these vertical templates because who doesn't like a little vertical video in their life? For something like the project I'm looking at here, where it's like 3 participants in an interview, one of these 3-panel templates is amazing. I can even target a topic. So if in this project, these guys are talking about node.js, whatever that is, if I wanted to get a bunch of clips about that, I could put it in here. and it will port it out into a separate composition for me, which I can then double check, make sure everything looks good, and then publish that straight to TikTok. So cool stuff that I really enjoy. Create highlight reel, very similar to create clips, except it's looking for more of like the best moments of the project throughout. So it'll kind of tell the through line. If you have like, you did an interview with a guest, it's going to look for the moments of that interview that tell the story of that interview. Again, great for promotional materials. Find highlights, just another version of create highlight reel, except all this does is highlight those sections for you. If you want to be more hands-on, use that one, because that won't put any templates on it or anything. It's just going to find them and color them, and then you can do what you will. Translate captions is another new one. And this is a highly sought after feature. I'm pretty excited about it. What this does is it takes your existing transcript and creates a separate translated version of just the captions for that transcript. So if I go, let's, you got a language you want to see, Christiana?
I took French in college.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
So if I submit this, it'll think about it for a minute. Really lightning quick response time here. I've got my translated captions on the right. If I needed to do any corrections here, I could. Just keep in mind that because this is a beta workflow, if you change this, the word sync will not be as clean as it is if you just leave the automated version. We will be working on that as this feature develops. But I'll just click done here so you can see the end result. And what I would do with this essentially is, so I've got this French version now. I can just go ahead and publish a French captioned version, episode 98, Paye. Is that how you say that, Paye?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Thanks. I don't believe you. I don't think that's true.
I know my tone sounded like not confident, and it's probably because it's been a long time since I was confident in French, but I actually do think that was correct.
Really? Okay. I really just made that up. So that's wonderful to know. I am the president of France now.
Take that, Macron.
Take it.
Okay. Christy asked a question on this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can you show how you can display that translated caption on the video instead of the original ones? I struggled with that.
So I actually don't think we're doing that currently. Okay. So the idea here, and this workflow is probably going to continue to be refined and expanded upon, but because because it's Christy and he's been with us a long time, I will explain a little bit about what's happening in the background here. Cool. So when you click this button and you do translate captions, it creates a invisible composition. And we are not currently allowing you to mess with that composition because it's not really functional like normal compositions are. So in the background, there is a composition in French with all of this stuff in it. If you were to change anything in that, it would probably break. So we're just not surfacing it yet. There's a chance that we will at some point. But the idea here is we don't necessarily at the moment want you to do that because it will probably break something. Yep. So I apologize, Christy. I know you're a pretty hands-on person. That is something that we want to be able to support at some point, but I just don't know yet when we'll have that locked in.
Totally. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. I think more to come on this feature. This is phase 1.
Yes.
So yeah, more to come.
Awesome. Great. Moving along.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Again, for lazy jokers like me, this publish section is the best. Like if you need a title for your project, you need a summary of it, you need show notes, you need a YouTube description with chapterization, no less. The publish section is your friend. I love it. It makes my life so much easier. Can't say enough good about how lovely just something very practical like this whole publish section is. It's, to me, this is all the most tedious stuff. I've already done all the work of making a thing, and now I have to convince somebody else to listen to it, sell myself, No, just click one of these buttons. Draft a social post. Again, same reasoning here. You can give it some direction, pick a social network, social or professional network. So this would be like LinkedIn versus Facebook, let's say. And draft a blog post. It's very similar to stuff like show notes and summarize, just more of a blogged out version of it, written for a general audience, maybe even under so you can have like an article version of your podcast, let's say. Final section here is brainstorm. Write. And this is all the sort of generative actions into your script. So let's go blank for a sec. And so if I want to brainstorm something about feral cats on American railways, I can start there and get some ideas for how to start my script, unless I just break Underlord by being random, which, sometimes happens. We're going to back out of that. We're not too worried about that. So that is the Underlord sidebar. We did talk about some of the sub features in there. I think it might be worthwhile to go back and dive into some of them a little bit more.
Totally.
But we do have some more stuff to cover, so let's keep moving along.
Let's do it.
Cool. I'm going to go back to a more filled out composition here. So we have a new timeline. This has been in labs for a while. So this might not be new to some of you. If you haven't been using labs, or you just want more information, stay tuned for this section here. The major difference is, one, this timeline is scrollable, and let me just throw some media in here, get some layers going so that I can actually demonstrate that it's scrollable. I'm just going to just drop some stuff willy-nilly. Here we go. Get in there. All right. Now it's a layers party, and now I can scroll. How cool is that? It also has these nice thumbnails, image previews. It's easier to deal with keyframes in general. So if you're doing like your volume automation here, much easier to deal with. When you add animations to things, it's also much easier to deal with. Let's throw one on this. That looks good. I like that. Actually, let's do a custom animation. And this is a good time to go in and talk about the new animation presets. So here's a custom animation. Here are my two keyframe points. And yeah, just much easier to see where these are, understand what they're doing. Big fan of all this. Cool. Cool. And let's talk about these animation presets here. So the basic ones are some of the same ones that you're familiar with. We also now have like a scale, so it can go up in scale, a sliding in and out of the frame, spin, and then a wipe animation. So you're kind of doing this motion here with your animations. And then we have easing settings. These are expanded now, so it'll ramp up, slow down. Elastic in is kind of a bouncy, jaunty version of it. I feel really silly explaining these. Just look at the
bouncy, jaunty.
Yeah, look at the line. See what this line is doing? That's what the animation's going to do. But the names are helpful and descriptive, so bouncing in and out. Impulse, overshoot, all of these things are pretty dang useful, and I'm sure people will be making great use of them. Cool. Next up, we had we kind of already talked about YouTube linking. Any reason to go back to that? Do you think, Christiana?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I think we're good there.
Let's move along then. Publish to Google Drive was the next thing we had on our list here.
Let's do it.
pretty straightforward. But if you have a project and you'd like to share it with your colleagues, and maybe they don't use Descript, or maybe you put all of your Descript projects into a shared Google Drive location so that you can look at them later, you can publish to Google Drive. This will take you to a sign-in. Cool, you cannot see my login info, but just imagine that I'm currently signing into Google right now. And this will go through the normal authorization process. If you already published to YouTube, you'll be familiar with what the actual steps are here. Close that out. And then it'll just give me the option to publish this to YouTube. Like all of our publishing features, you do need to publish to a Descript page first, and then it will allow you to do this. But when you go through the flow, it does it automatically in the background, so you might not even notice. But this is just going on now. It's on its way to be published. TBD, but we will also be adding a feature, hopefully in the near future, that allows you to actually select which folder you'd like this to be dropped into. Again, we'll post about that when it's actually working. Cool.
Love it.
Awesome. Last thing on the list, unless you want to field any questions related to anything from the last few moments.
Let me look here. Christy asked, how did you get away with allowing import from YouTube URL? Isn't YouTube disallowing that?
I haven't heard that, but I'm not an expert in this space. I know that other editing programs have similar features, or so I've been told.
Yep. And we did run it by all the legal channels and things like that and made sure it was above board. So we are all within YouTube's current policies. And if that changes, then maybe I'll have to change in the future. But for now, we're golden.
Yes.
Cool.
That's a big old spoonful of not your problem right now also as a user, I think. But I find it to be, it's extremely useful. Just again, always make sure that any content you're putting into your project, you have the appropriate authorization to use. So I know that YouTube creators very often will feature each other's videos.
Yep.
And there's a couple different versions of why they're allowed to do that, right? There is the fair use version of it, where they're using small samples in order to expand upon the content. So if they're teaching a class about filmmaking, you can use short samples of films legally. And YouTube will sometimes clamp down on even those, but usually you'll win your appeal if you are within the guidelines of fair use. The other option is to literally just get permission from the creator. In my experience, a lot of creators are happy to provide that type of permission because it's free promotion for them. So those are my thoughts on the ethics there.
And that's that on that.
And that is the scoop on that. Cool. Should we talk about Descript for Web leaving beta and how cool it is?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice. So this won't be as visual. I've been in Descript for Web this entire demo, and it's working really, really nicely. So you may have in past versions seen a beta tag up here. We very quietly got rid of it because at this point, aside from a few limitations, it is as good or better than the desktop version in almost every single way. One major caveat, our file size support is still somewhat limited here. We've looked at the numbers, and a vast majority of users barely ever upload files that are larger than 5 gigabytes. That said, if you are somebody who does have larger files and you're using the web version, import them via the desktop app first and then go do your edit. You can't import a larger than 5 gig file via the web today, but it's something that we actually have to fix based on our future plan. So that limit will not be there forever, but for now, just keep that in mind. File size limitations exist. And a few other things, visit our help center. There's a small list of caveats. Other than that, We have noticed that it is, in general, more performant than the desktop version. It is relying way less on your personal hardware to be good. You know, you can still run into some performance issues. Again, some of your hardware is still going to be in the pipeline of making things look good or feel good. But overall, the burden has shifted a lot more to our side for your performance with the web version. I'm not sure if there's much more to say about that.
I'll throw a question your way. What browsers are supported? Specifically, someone asked if we support Safari.
So there might be a flashing panel that says, hey, we don't support this yet. But you can just go ahead and push through that. There are, the plan is to have all browsers supported.
Cool.
I could test this right now, but I'm not going to because I'm not sure that will make very exciting content for our users.
Fair. Super fair. Okay, cool. Yeah. Daniel just said, I think they just don't test with Safari, so they throw a warning up. I click through the warning every time, and Daniel said, I use Safari and haven't had issues. So
yes,
should be good. Try it out.
Yeah, and we do, just for the record, we do test with Safari. It's not as because there are issues, we can't confidently tell you just go ahead and do it without any fear.
Yep.
Our project backup system is pretty good these days. Really, I wouldn't be all that worried about it, but like the potential for bugs that haven't been fixed yet is slightly higher if you use something other than Chrome today.
Cool. That makes sense. Gabe, do you find yourself using web more nowadays?
You know, I think I'm an old fuddy-duddy in some ways, and I kind of like using the app. I've been for demo content, I like to use the web a lot.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier to share sound and zoom in on things, and it's just highly flexible. For my own editing, and I will be perfectly honest that this is just in my head, I'm just like, well, I'm in an app that's stable, right? It's just completely made up. In fact, according to our research, you're less likely to run into issues on the web in most cases.
So. I think what I'm hearing is change is hard.
Change is hard. I'm locked in. Also, we have some plans for the desktop app coming up that will bring them closer to each other in terms of the benefits. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Daniel said, I don't pay attention to warnings. I'm a rebel.
Me neither.
Good. Good on ya.
Beware of Cliff. Not me. I won't be aware of that at all.
No. Beware of piano dropping on head. No worries. Okay, cool. Well, we don't have a ton of remaining questions here. So folks, kind of last chance, throw them in here if you want to catch Gabe live. I will pull up a few other things here. Marcelo does weekly office hours. On Wednesdays, it's a general Descript thing. On Thursdays, it's specific for remote recording. So jump over there. Maybe Marcelo just said that they'll start early and you can jump in there and start asking questions. If you want to have a smaller group discussion, hop in there. One other thing I'll say is we did launch Underlord on Product Hunt this week. We got the number 3 product of the day on Tuesday, which was super exciting. We got a big feature in their newsletter, but we still would love to rank even higher for the week. So if you are excited about Underlord, we would so appreciate some love on that page and supporting our launch and leaving a comment. That would mean a ton. So I'll throw that link in the chat as well, just so it is convenient. Basho just asked, do you share the recordings of these demos? Yep, I do. The recording is literally at the link that you're at right now, though. So if you go into the live section of our YouTube, all of our live events are there. You can just come back to this link, but I send it in a follow-up email to everybody that signs up as well. Let me see other questions.
Yeah, if there's anything that we talked about that people want to see more of, I'd be happy to demo. We're going to do an Underlord session next week, so I kind of was skimpy on details about stuff. We didn't actually process any of the files, but if anybody wants to see them now, we got a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good here. I think
Cool.
we can, yeah. Actually, there's a Chromebook question here from a user. Someone asked, DJB asked, many of us teachers have students tethered to Chromebooks. Any thoughts about Descript cloud editing with Chromebooks?
I don't know if I just have organic thoughts about that. I haven't really considered it before. I would say try web.descript.com and see how that goes. I would imagine they will have much better luck there than they will with the desktop app.
Yep.
I know Chromebooks are not the worst computers in the world in terms of performance, but they definitely will have lower hardware specs. And so I would love to know if your students try that and how it works for them. If it works really great, just shoot us a thumbs up. If it's not so great, let us know that too, so that we can make it better for them.
Yep. Please do. Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Okay, here's a question from Richie Rich that is pretty Descript 101-y, but I'll throw it your way just for fun. Can you please ask about this one? After editing out some text, I want to add a slight pause without blacking out the video. How can I do that? Editing some text,
want to make a slight pause without blacking out the video. Okay, so if I have, let's say I get rid of this word here. Let's find something that has where I didn't ruin the video content would be great. Let's go down here. So let's say we're in this scene and I delete a phrase here. And then let's say I want to throw a word gap in like this. I think this is what he means. And then so in this word gap here, because I don't have any script track, it's blank. You might have to get creative here. I mean, we don't just generate content for you in this specific circumstance. If you replace a word using overdub and it's a single file, we'll sort of stretch the video over it. What I would do here, depending on what your content is, right? Like you may not have this option if it's like a video podcast or something and you don't normally use B-roll. This is a perfect opportunity to just throw some stock video in. I would probably just find something relevant to what these two guys are talking about and then throw that in as a layer over this gap clip. And then that way it's filled in, it seems intentional, and I've made cool project.
I've made cool project. I love it. Cool. Okay, sweet. I think that we should call it here.
Cool.
One last time throwing this up. We would love your support on Product Hunt for Underlord. And I made us big squares.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's like we're in a roundup video.
Yeah. I love it.
Did Marcelo say to send some folks over to chat with him in our Discord?
Yes, I've pinned the Discord link in the chat, so you can click that, or you can jump over and scan the QR code that's up on the screen, and that will send you over to our Discord. It's basically like a little Zoom room, and you can just ask questions in the chat, and Marcelo's got your back. So yeah, again, this was a high-level overview. Throughout the next few months and into forever, we will continue with our EDU events. Dedicated dive on Underlord is coming next week from me and Gabe, like exactly a week from today. So join us then. But yeah, thank you so much the response to this new stuff has been like super positive, and we're super lucky for that and happy. But also give us your feedback. Let us know when something feels wonky in Discord, or submit a support ticket. And yeah, this stuff is new. It'll continue to get better. And yeah, Gabe, thank you so much for leading this event and sharing everything with us. Marcelo and our other amazing support team members, thanks for being in the chat. And thank you everyone for being here. We will see you at the next event.
Bye-bye.
Cool.